Well, hello again. We're back
We're
for
back.
another. We're back, yeah, back for another A Matter of Life and Dev. Uh,
Yes.
we're still in the at-home situation, but that gives us a nice opportunity, I think, to take a look again at the blog written by Mendix, this time by Arjan. Um, it's a short release, so I think this video will also be pretty short, but I'm excited.
Yep. Let's
So
get started. The blog.
the blog. It's called Stay Connected. Always makes me think of Mo. You know the video about Mo. Stay connected.
Oh,
Hello,
holy shit.
Berlin. Hello.
Damn. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So what's new?
Yeah, there's some big changes for native mobile. I think we mentioned it in the last video as well that this was coming up. And we
Yes.
also mentioned that we are not really native experts.
Yep.
So if we say anything that is not correct, please let us know.
Yep.
But what they did is they upgraded React Native to version 0.61,
hmm
and they upgraded all their libraries to the latest versions. So they needed a new Make It Native app,
Yep. Makes sense.
and so do you if you want to keep developing
Exactly.
native mobile applications. But
That's
they do have some downloads for older versions available if you, for some reason, can't upgrade or don't want to upgrade yet. But of course, their advice is to upgrade to 8.9 to make use of all those new features and fixes.
I can imagine that would be very interesting. Seeing that React Native is still in a zero version, I think upgrading to the latest version is always nice. I can imagine there'll be a lot of new functions and features in stuff like this, also updates.
Yep.
So yeah.
But if you, again, for some reason can't upgrade, you still can download an older Make It Native app version, and the
Luckily,
links are in the blog.
I think that's pretty necessary
Yeah.
to have those still available.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Next up, a new widget for native mobile.
Yeah. Because we liked the last one. Pretty good. It was
It's cool.
it was nice. Yeah.
And this one seems cool as well. So it's a little pop-up menu.
Mm-hmm. And there
And
are two types, a basic and a custom one.
Yep.
So that also looks pretty easy if we look at the GIF down here. Some an item type, a caption, and an action, a nano flow.
Is it GIF or is it GIF?
I thought with my English pronunciation I would make it GIF, but yeah.
Okay, cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think this is a pretty cool widget as well, right? It's very straightforward. It looks easy to implement.
Absolutely. I think this works well on mobile. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need the latest version of native. Yeah, of course.
It's packed in the native mobile resources widget pack.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Studio Pro updates.
Yeah.
The ones we're most interested in, mostly.
Yeah.
And I think, well, it's kind of a delighter. I know it's a new feature because it wasn't there before. It was already possible though. But you have to create your own.
With a workaround. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is nice.
Yeah. So now you can finally sort in nano flows.
Yep.
And there's nothing much more to be said about that as well, because that's just the way it is.
Pretty short text as well. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And the field set widget.
Yeah, so this is for all the screen readers. You can now basically, with the field set widget, you can properly structure your forms so that the screen reader knows what is where and what should be read out to you.
Mm-hmm. Over the last few releases, I've seen a lot of updates regarding this topic for screen
accessibility.
Readers. Yeah, accessibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And the last thing in the blog, it's a delighter.
Yeah.
It's a technical one.
Delighter.
Yep. So you can intercept outgoing HTTP requests.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does it mean? I think it kind of makes sense if you, especially if you read this bit of code. So you can enter your own host. You can intercept outgoing messages, and you can do custom stuff with it. For example, log messages or add custom authentication headers and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, for example, all the calls made to a specific host can be intercepted, and you can add custom logic to it, basically.
Yeah, that's it. I think. I wonder why this isn't doable with vanilla Mendix, but I can only assume there is a reason why you would want to do stuff in Java.
I'd love for one of the Mendix guys to comment on this video and let us know, like a real use case for this.
Yeah, give us an example. I see they notice AWS.
Yep.
There is probably a reason why it's in this blog.
Yeah, I think as well. But it's cool to hear from the audience if they're excited about this delighter.
Yeah, please let us know.
And that's the blog.
That's the blog. It's a short one,
Yep.
like we said, but that's okay. We still have some release notes as well to go through, but I think it's mostly the same information.
Yeah. So there are two things that we haven't mentioned yet, and they're in the new feature section.
Yep, true.
So you can now, there's a new microflow activity, and that's a sync to device. So you can selectively sync objects to your device when calling a microflow from a nanoflow.
Yeah, I can imagine that being necessary.
Yep.
Stuff has to be
Same.
server side if you want to call a microflow.
Yep.
So it's nice to have the sync to device option first and then call the microflow.
Another new feature is when viewing the page editor in design mode, you now have a little toggle in your toolbar to highlight fields that are conditional visible, that have some conditional visibility rules set to them, basically. So when you do, you get a little dotted green line around the element itself, which is pretty useful if you use design mode. Because before we didn't have this, obviously, so it would always show all the attributes, and now you at least get an idea that your page doesn't look exactly like this because there are conditional visible elements on it.
That's nice.
So that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Next.
Pluggable widgets.
Yeah.
Repeatable
You can now
content.
also link an action property to the data source property.
What does this mean?
Which enables using the entity returned by the data source in your action. So you can have a data source property, so like get data from this data source, which returns an entity, for example. And in the action property, you can now set use the result from this data source as an input parameter.
Of course. Yeah.
I think.
That's a pretty big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap. It's yeah, let's say it again. It's a short release, short video.
Yeah.
Not a lot to be said about this one, I feel.
I think it's a small release, but there are some worthy changes in there. Nothing more, nothing less, I think.
I can agree with that.
It's not as a bigger as a release as the last one, but
still, a
no
release
worries.
is a release. It's
Yeah.
kudos to Mendix to still be able to deliver a release on time in a period like this.
And stability trumps features.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big one.
So hopefully 8.9 is another stable release. And maybe it has some usable features and fixes for you guys.
Awesome.
And with that, I say we close it for this Friday afternoon.
Yes, I could totally agree with that. Yeah. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Please let us know what you think.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. And hopefully see you next time.
Yeah, drop a comment if you have any questions or tips.
All right.
See you at the next release, as Jan would say.
Yeah, exactly. See ya.
See ya.